Watch I look, I'm jugging. Dissect your hand if your hand in my put and put two in your man if your man keep a looking. Act like a poop, your bitch get tookin'. I'm not the type to go fuck with them niggas who fuck with them niggas who stay on some fish. Oh, young and trapping out the bando. From the ceiling fan to the damn floor, trying to stack my money up. Cause that's the only way we can go. Tell my mama that I'm okay. See the money coming through the doorway. Got a bad bitch with a lot of money, that's foreplay. Okay, they watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me.
Trapped inside this spell. Now I feel like your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel that.
Too cold, standing in the middle of the downpour, looking in the mirror 'cause it's only you. been like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Drive me around in your red Ford, shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes sound funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. All alive. The devil's in the detail, lingered inside. Oh, a holy crime. But how can I hide you without an alibi? It's a rebel's fight without an alibi. You took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Going wrong like nonsense. Playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a rebel's fight without an alibi. You took my innocence without an alibi.
Career mode, City have won the lot. Rodri on the chance! Goal in the final by Rodri! Jude Bellingham will not be coming to Manchester City. We are Premier League champions, City FC, our champions. Series based on the World Cup with music videos, football and more. Get your official City FC merchandise. Join us as we explore historic Europe and football. Hello, welcome back to the We Are City channel for our matchday live stream today. Alternative commentary on City's big FA Cup game as they are back against Tottenham Hotspur away at the Tottenham Hotspur ground. A stadium where Manchester City have never scored a goal, and the last time City scored a goal away at Tottenham, Rico Lewis was 11 years old. That is how bad it is. Hopefully City can get back to winning ways, or continue their winning ways, should I say, and hopefully get a goal here today away at Spurs. Big game in the FA Cup, a massive tie for Manchester City very early on in the early stage, only in the 4th round of the FA Cup. And City and Pep Guardiola have gone with a reasonably strong side. Erling Haaland back in training, but isn't back in the squad. He is not quite ready for that one. This is a side that Pep Guardiola names with Stefan Ortega Moreno starting in goal. It is captain Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake and Joško Vardiol, Manchester City's back four. Mateo Kovacic and Rodri partner in midfield too, with Phil Foden in front. There's Bernardo Silva on the right, Oscar Bob on the left, and Julian Alvarez through the middle. On the bench for Manchester City is Ederson, the returning from an ankle injury, John Stones, Jack Grealish, Jeremy Doku, Kevin De Bruyne, Sergio Gomez, Matheus Nunes, now replacing Phillips on the substitute bench after he completed his move to West Ham United on loan at the end of the season. It is Mohamed Sohoso, the youngster from our youth system, and Rico Lewis on there as well. Spurs, they've gone with a strong side. I think pretty much the strongest side Ange Postecoglou could have named. We'll have a look at those sides head to head. And the Spurs side there on the right hand side of your screen. Vicario, the Italian, starts in goal. It is Pedro Porro, former Manchester City man. Christian Romero, Mickey van der Ven, and Destiny Udogie in the back four. The midfield is not the strongest Spurs midfield. I think that's the one area they could improve on, but barring that is the strongest 11 I think Ange could go with. It is Højbjerg, Kulusevski and Bentancur in the midfield three. Kulusevski playing off Richarlison, the striker, with Brennan Johnson signed for Nottingham Forest this summer, and Timo Werner signed this January on loan from RB Leipzig in the wide areas. It's a strong Spurs side, a very strong Spurs side. Key battles are certainly going to be, I think, the fullbacks against their wide players. Brennan Johnson, very, very quick, and so is so is Timo Werner on the other side. Now, not really the best of finishers, Brennan Johnson and Timo Werner, but on the counter, Vardiol and Walker are going to have their game in a really tough game, I think, against those two players, just because of their drive. Richarlison's a real tough customer to come up against. He's a nasty player to come up against, and the way he plays, the Brazilian. He's aggressive, gets on the ball, and can hold the ball really well. He's also got a really good eye for goal. He's good in the air. Diaz and Ake are going to have a real partnership well together. And Kulusevski drifting in from the right-hand side, which I think he prefers to do in that free space. That is also going to give City a bit of problems, but you'd hope Rodri is in there and around there to keep that one quiet. We've got Lisa Duggan in the comments. She asks, why is Kevin De Bruyne not starting? Well, I think I've just listened to Pep Guardiola's press conference. That's why I'm a little bit late. Listen to what Pep had to say. Pep said that Kevin De Bruyne was so close, basically, to starting today. So close to starting. But in the end, Pep Guardiola decided against it. I think De Bruyne, he's not ready to play 25 minutes, is he? He's not ready to play 25 minutes either. I think that he is a game changer for Manchester City. But I think at the moment, with the way we saw him come off the bench against Newcastle and change the game, I think that is probably better to see him come and change the game in that way as well, rather than start him, run him into the ground early on. I think he can come on when City need him, if they need him. And considering he's just come back from a very serious and long-term hamstring injury, I don't think it's right to run him into the ground straight away. I know we want to see him. I really want to see him as well, but we don't want to run him into the ground. We need him to be fit, and we need him to be ready for when the big games come. And I know today against Spurs is particularly a big game, but not a big game like a Champions League knockout game, or a really crucial game against Liverpool, or Arsenal, for example, or Aston Villa in the Premier League. So I think that is probably the right decision by Pep Guardiola not to start Kevin De Bruyne. One of the decisions Pep Guardiola has made is to start Oscar Bob off that left-hand side. Of course, the hero against Newcastle. And he is a fan favourite, Oscar, I think. I think he's a favourite within the squad as well. He's a young man who's he's really come on leaps and bounds, hasn't he? He's definitely come through at a sort of an older age, through what the likes of Rico Lewis and Phil Foden, Cole Palmer. They came in before they even turned 20. I mean, Rico Lewis is still not even turned 20. Foden, not too long ago, turned 20. Really, he's 23 now. Oscar Bob's already 2021, so he's definitely developed at a slower rate, but just because they're not superstars at 17 and a really high quality player at 17 doesn't mean they're not going to be a top player as they get older. Some players, you know, people hit their peak at different stages, people find their feet at different stages of their career. Oscar Bob's has come a bit of a later time when he's made it through the Manchester City youth system, but like Pep Guardiola said, Chiqui Bergedestein and many said at the club, scouts and players in the youth system said, listen, Oscar Bob is the best player in our youth system. He has to make it to the Manchester City starting 11, and I think that is into the squad anyway, and he has made it, and I think that is very much deserved, isn't it, for Oscar Bob. Now, the game in the UK is on ITV, so if you want to watch the game on ITV, you can do. You can turn off the audio and listen to me but as the alternative commentary. All you've got to do is, if you're watching on live TV, you can pause the game and pause me and try and time us up in the right order, if that is a possibility for you guys to do. If you're not watching on a very modern TV, an older TV, that might not be possible. Maybe you can't watch the game, you're outside the UK, you're somewhere else, that is fine. I'll try and give you all the action as it happens and give you some really, really entertaining commentary on the games, I hope, anyway, if there is really entertaining games here today, which I think it will be at Spurs Stadium. It's time to score a goal. Pep Guardiola said that his biggest test after winning the treble was to what? Score a goal away at Tottenham, and his chance is today. It's coming in the FA Cup. It's coming in a very early stage of the FA Cup of Manchester City. I think Manchester City might have this. I do think today will definitely play better than we have done in the past. Definitely play better than we have in the past. But that being said, I'm still not entirely 100% confident. I'm not. I don't think that this is going to be a simple one for Manchester City. That Spurs side, to me, is very, very strong. There is other games on as well. Tomorrow, Fulham versus Newcastle United at 6:15. You've got West Brom versus Wolves as well on Sunday at 11 a.m. The coverage starts. And also, Liverpool versus Norwich, including the 5th round draw, on Sunday at 1:55 as well. So, plenty more going on in the FA Cup. Plenty of action this weekend in the Emirates FA Cup, which is going to be an exciting one. We've got a little vote here in the live chat, which basically is, do you think that City will score a goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? Not will they win today, will they score a single goal? That is all Manchester City are aiming to do. Who do you think is some of the best players in the Spurs side? Destiny Udogie made his FA Cup debut against Burnley in the 3rd round, playing that very much as an inside fullback, playing in the pockets, which is a very interesting position to play your fullbacks in. But it's what Ange does. We've seen Pedro Porro do it, and Udogie in every game pretty much for Spurs this season. Very, very attacking, isn't it? Very, very attacking from Spurs, playing their fullbacks in that position. It's interesting, it's different, I like it. And he's a very brave manager, Ange Postecoglou. I think he's a very brave manager. He's already making waves in Premier League football, isn't he, at Spurs? I think all the injuries, and they're still doing pretty well. They're getting their first team back now. James Maddison in contention as well now. And I think Spurs are, I think, a really good side. It's crazy how Spurs last season, you were looking at a team that you think was a little bit all over the place in Tottenham Hotspur. You weren't exactly sure where their best players were, but they've brought in, I mean, in the summer window, they brought in Udogie at left back and Van de Ven at left centre back. Part of that with Porro, Cuti Romero and Vicario in goalkeeper, completely fixed Ange's back 5 there. Into the midfield, things have stayed the same. James Maddison coming as a new creative force. And then they've kept things the same sort of in the striker and wide areas. Brennan Johnson's come in for support. Timo Werner as well. But it's certainly an impressive Spurs side that they've built. Of course, Spurs' owners recently pled guilty to insider trading. So I don't know what that's going to happen with Spurs, whether that means that they should immediately be banned from signing players and immediately have their owner kicked out of own the club like the Premier League rules suggest should happen. I don't think that will happen. And I think that Spurs are definitely... I don't think they're going to be title contenders, Spurs, anytime soon. There's just something about them that makes me think that they're not quite that team, Tottenham Hotspur, are they? They're never quite that team. That being said, why not? Why not? You know, with the right signings, with the right players, which they've started to bring in, with the the right recruitment, the right mentality, which is a big thing it seems to be for Spurs. I think they could go a long way. I think there's two issues I'd say with Spurs, with them going a long way, is their mentality. I think they've got to win their first trophy, whether it be the FA Cup this season. I think that this is the competition that Ange really needs to push for. Try and get that trophy for Spurs that they haven't had for a long time, and get themselves mentally ready to actually win silverware. But the second thing is, as much as an exciting as Ange Postecoglou's football is at Spurs, is it a little bit too risky? Is it a bit too gung-ho and expansive to really go the distance in European competitions and in the Premier League? Because we've seen that Pep Guardiola has toned it back, I think, in recent years, thinking playing the 4 centre-backs across the back line. That is, Pep Guardiola toning it back and being a bit more defensive, and I think Ange would have to do that if he wants to take the Spurs team very far away. Jack Wilson says, can't see City winning this game. Not so confident from Jack. Never won here and don't think we will tonight. Come on, City. Hopefully you can, though, says Jack. Well, hopefully can. I'll be honest with you. I'm not entirely confident either about Manchester City winning today. Because we never do, really. Like you said, Jack, the stats don't lie. The record doesn't lie. Manchester City have a torrid record against Tottenham Hotspur. Can they turn it around today? I mean, just scoring a single goal would make things feel so much better, I'm sure, for Manchester City, just to score a single goal. And if we can do that nice and early, that will make a big impact to us as well. But who knows? Who knows? It's going to be a difficult one here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for Manchester City, without a doubt, especially when you see the strength of that Spurs side with Dragusin and Maddison. Key players on the bench. Key players who can make a difference defensively and offensively. I think James Maddison is a superstar. I think one that Manchester City are very interested in. I think it's a big shame about his injury record, actually. I think he's got a really bad injury record, actually. That is a problem, which is a problem for him, really, in his career. I think that's hampered his career too many times, injuries, James Maddison. I think he's hampered him from becoming the player that he could be. But we'll have to see, because I'm sure he will continue to try and get better in his career, Maddison. If you can overcome those injuries and play consistently, you never know. Lady predictions come into the live chat. Andrew's just pricked here a 3-2 win for Manchester City. He says, fingers crossed. That is a fact that City have never scored a goal at Spurs ground. Andrew thinks we might score 3. Well, that would be sort of exercising the demons, as they say, wouldn't it? And if Manchester City were to score 3 today, maybe it'd make up for the other visits to the ground where City haven't managed to score 1. Emirates FA Cup is about to get underway. So excited, ready for this one. I'm tired today. I've been up since 6:15 this morning. A nice early start. It's now 8 o'clock, on it just about 1 minute to 8. And I am ready to fall asleep. So I'm hoping that Manchester City are going to keep us all awake here with a nice, exciting game of football, if that is the possibility. Ange Postecoglou and Pep Guardiola share an embrace here, the Australian and the Spaniard. Talk with each other. Jack Wilson's the only thing that gives me confidence is Ange has them playing very attacking, which might leave gaps at the back. Yeah, I think his expansive football can be an issue for them, Jack. My only problem is, and I don't want to be a bit of a downer situation, but Manchester City are not very good at counter-attacking, are they? We're not very clinical, and I think that might cause a problem for us. I really do, but you never know. You never know. Maddison on the bench, like we said, for Spurs. Oliver Skipp, Dragusin, Fraser Forster, Brian Hill, Emerson Royal there as well. City's starting 11 is strong. Not as strong as perhaps we could have gone. Jack Grealish could have started. De Bruyne could have started maybe. Jeremy Doku. They find themselves on the bench with John Stones, who returns from an ankle injury. Edison, who returns from injury as well. Sergio Gomez, Mateus Nunes, Mohamed Sissoko, and also Rico Lewis. Chris is here. Evening to Chris. Let's do this, Manchester City. Let's put in a performance that is the unexpected. City with a Club World Cup badge on the shirt. City are chasing still a Champions League trophy, the Premier League on the line as well. The treble is still on. And Liverpool, who are very much in the news today after Jurgen Klopp announced his departure come the end of the season, they're still on for the treble, as they'll back themselves, as they seem to be every season. Long ball forward by Manchester City from kick-off. Richarlison beaten to it by Ruben Diaz, who has split up with his former Love Island girlfriend Arabella, who was returned to Love Island and left Ruben Diaz. They split up just last week, and she ended up straight in the villa. An ITV show, actually, Love Island, and very famous in the UK. There was one time where I watched Love Island, but no more. I've seen too much. Vicario, short to Udogie. Right foot passing to Romero. Flicks it forward, dealt with by Bernardo Silva. In towards Højbjerg, who heads it away to Bernardo. Heads it straight back forward again. Away by Romero once more. Spin by Kulusevski. Richarlison nearly beats Bernardo Silva to it. Richarlison goes down. Referee Simon Hooper says no way. That's a free kick as a dive from the Brazilian Richarlison, who's started this game with intensity. Pressing goalkeeper Ortega Moreno. And out to Ruben Diaz. Walker. Back to Diaz. Diaz back to Ortega. He's a mile off his line here. Playing in like a fullback position there, Ortega, as he sends it forward. Udogie heads it down towards Højbjerg. Back onto Mickey van der Ven. He'll try to go back to his keeper Romero under pressure. Van der Ven here, he's done really well. He's very quick, the Dutchman. Van der Ven gets away just and back to Højbjerg. Risky football from Spurs, but risk and reward is definitely the sort of thing that Ange Postecoglou's side's going for. Here's Cristian Romero. World Cup winner with Argentina. Up against his World Cup winning teammate in Julian Alvarez. Vicario. City not deciding to press Vicario. Vicario still. Plays into the centre here towards Bentancur. White to Cuti Romero. Ball in towards Richarlison. Nice tackle by Diaz. And he's spacing behind City's defence here. Stefan Ortega. Sweeper keeper comes out to it. So Rodri miles off his line there, Ortega. But sharp from Ortega. Sharp from Spurs as well at the start here. Kovacic. Joško Vardiol. Back goes Alvarez towards Kovacic. City trying to get a bit of control this one. Well, Vardiol and Walker playing very high and wide again. With Diaz and Ake the only centre-backs on their own at the back. That seems to be Pep's new formation, doesn't it? Here is Diaz. Bernardo Silva. Ball into Rodri and back to Bernardo. Nice football from City 1-2 between the Spaniard and City's Portuguese midfielder, who's drifting in from that right-hand side and going to the midfield three. Joško Vardiol. City playing the formation they used against Newcastle. It worked well against them. They're going to try it again here today. Bernardo, Rodri. Bernardo. Kovacic. Rodri. The pressure from Kulusevski. Rodri still finds his way through to Phil Foden with a good pass. Referee plays advantage here. Ball forward to Vardiol. It's out for a throw-in. Referee says the advantage was played. And they play on. But City's certainly in the shape. Two at the back in Diaz and Ake. It is then three in front in Kovacic, Bernardo Silva and Rodri. And then you've got Vardiol and Walker in the wide areas. Brennan Johnson down holding his ankle here. He does that regularly, Brennan Johnson. It seems to always be the ankle. And he seems to always run it off. Rodri, Bernardo Silva. Nathan Ake. White to Vardiol. Attacking fullback Vardiol. He's become now from solid centre-back to marauding fullback. How his formation and position has changed at Manchester City. Kovacic. Oscar Bob. Kovacic. Under pressure from Romero. Ake. Kovacic. Rodri. Spurs definitely press with intensity. Diaz wide to Kyle Walker. Heavy touch by Kyle. He's given it away, but it's gone through to Phil Foden. Can't get there, out for a throw-in on the far side from Manchester City. Foden gives it back to captain Kyle Walker, former Spurs man. Played many a year at Spurs, broke through into their first team after a signing from Sheffield United. And a couple of loans as well, before a £50 million move to Manchester City. Kovacic has really come into his own in the past few games. He's looked really comfortable. Good to see, says Jack. I thought he was great right when he first joined City, actually, Jack. The first 5 games or so for City was fantastic. He got injured on international duty. Then from then on, he was terrible. But he's back at it again, Mateo Kovacic, since coming back. Ball out wide to Kyle Walker here. Beats Udogie to it. Udogie slips. Walker crosses one in. Chance for Phil Foden! And it's in the back of the net for Manchester City. But he's offside, Oscar Bob. Udogie slips. Walker swings one in. Foden hits it. Saved by Vicario. And then Oscar Bob taps it in when he's already gone into an offside position, apparently. Ball into Kyle Walker by Diaz. He's onside. Udogie with a slip here. Walker swings it in. He's onside, Oscar Bob. He might just be offside, Oscar Bob here. Well, VAR is checking this. It's very tight. It might be the studs of Oscar Bob that's gone off here. We'll have to see. Have City scored at the Spurs Stadium? And was it Oscar Bob? VAR are checking this one. Come on. Brilliant from Bob. Come on. These studs might be offside. VAR are checking. They must be tight. Goal scorer in the late minutes against Newcastle for Oscar Bob. VAR checking disallowed goal here. Oscar Bob looks on. Still not decided here. They're still checking as they do, and they'll check. Check meticulously. Was the hair of Oscar offside? Should he have had a haircut before this game? Should he have worn shorter studs? Should he have had smaller feet? All questions he'll ask himself now. As they continue to decide this one, they're not showing any footage of the lines being drawn or anything. So they're just checking. It's now been given offside, so I bet it was tight. I'd like to see an image. But offside against Oscar Bob, so City don't score yet. But very unlucky, it was very close. Oh, his left foot just offside. Very, very unlucky. Well, we've had 2 penalties at Spurs Stadium as well, actually. I missed them both. Diaz against Richarlison. Out to Werner. Rodri in there, Richarlison, who flicks it back to a doggy. But finally we score at the Spurs Stadium, it's offside. Well, it was frustrating, is Jack, actually. The first goal Spurs scored against us at this stadium was a goal from Heung-min Son, which actually was offside. But the VAR decided it wasn't offside. Brennan Johnson against Vardiel. Johnson beats him to it, tries to spin Vardiel. Can't do. Did he go out of play there? Johnson goes back to the keeper. He's done well there, the Welshman. Vicario clips it back out. Pass by Vicario. Here's Vardiel. Taken down Vardiel. Still wins it back. Great play from Joško Vardiel. And City keep possession. Well done, Vardiel. Ake. Wide to Vardiel. Into Oscar Bob here. Bob for City. Into Alvarez with a poor touch. Given away. Poor touch by Julian Alvarez. Turned by Richarlison. Can't stop it. Ruben Diaz goes flying for a tackle. Gives it straight off to Spursy Bentancur. And Phil Foden. Good feet by Foden. A late one by a doggy. Free kick Manchester City. Foden holding his ankle here. Late one by a doggy. He was complaining here, the Italian. But City, great intensity here. Great intensity from City and Spurs to start this one. Kovacic on towards Ake. Back he goes to Ortega. Very, very exciting start to this one, isn't it? Very intense. Ake, long ball over the top to Julian Alvarez, who this time takes a bit of a better first touch, but takes it wide away from Mickey van der Ven. Julian Alvarez. Oscar Bob. Away from van der Ven. Kovacic. Rodri. Kovacic. Late one by Richarlison. City play on. Ruben Diaz. Clips onto the path of Vardiel. It's a nice ball by Diaz. Vardiel just controls it just in time. Into Oscar Bob. Bob. Nice drop of the shoulder. Kovacic. Back wide to Vardiel. Playing pretty much as a winger, Vardiel, and Kyle Walker same on the other side. Kovacic swings into Walker in the far post here. Walker tries to keep it in. It's a poor touch by Kyle Walker, and it's all the way out for a goal kick. Good start, says Chris. Lots of possession, but you just know Spurs will spring forward on the counter and will score against the run of play. It's like you've read the script, Chris. We all know City are going to dominate this one and have lots of chances, and Spurs will win 1 or 2-0, and all the goals will come on the counter. City getting caught out. We just know. Højbjerg. Forward here. Kulusevski trying to get away from Rodri. Tight to him. City have taken over 9,000 fans here on a Friday night to London. Romero. Under pressure from Alvarez. Romero forward. Here is Pedro Porro, who I feel like I've hardly seen Pedro Porro so far today. Hardly touched the ball. Højbjerg onto the chest of Vardiel. Down to Oscar Bob. Tackle on Kovacic. Throwing goes Spurs his way. Linda's here. She's predicting a 2-0 win for Manchester City. It's good to see some confident people. Here's Alvarez here. Højbjerg. Foden. Rodri. Bernardo Silva. Onto his left foot. Bernardo Silva blocked away by Van der Ven. Nadoghi gets there and runs it away here. And gives it away to Kyle Walker. Back forward to Bernardo Silva. City onto the end of it. Bernardo. Clips it in. Alvarez in the chest here. Alvarez. Terrible touch by Alvarez again. Pings off him. Ake. Ake throws his head at it. Tries to stop the counter. City get it back. Oscar Bob. Into Alvarez once more. Again can't control it. Van der Ven slices it away. Nathan Ake there. The ball was on the ground to stop the counter-attack. He headed it on the ground there. Brilliant from Ake. But Alvarez, at the moment, has got a trampoline first touch and it's causing City problems when trying to break the opposition down and get a shot off. His first touch has been really bad, Alvarez, in his opening 10 minutes. Really, really bad. But City have been very good. Ake, good ball into Bob. Kovacic. Back into Oscar Bob. Find those pockets of space, Oscar Bob and Phil Foden. Rodri in behind here. A doggy away. Onto the end of it is Phil Foden. And back out to Bernardo Silva. Step over from Bernardo. And into Ruben Diaz. Bernardo again. Bernardo switches the play to Nathan Ake, stood in the centre circle. Dutchman looks wide left, but he goes centrally to Alvarez. What a ball by Ake. Julian Alvarez here. Brilliant football. Works it wide to Kyle Walker, who's overlapping. Walker for City, opposition in the box here. Walker pulls it back. Falls to Rodri. On the left foot, Kovacic blocked away. Behind for a corner for Manchester City here, who are once again playing really well in this formation. Pep Guardiola's new way of playing. 2 players in the pockets, 3 players in behind, and the fullbacks high and wide. Got to say this is good from City. They're playing more adventurous ball rather than sideways and backwards as Chris. Yeah, I'm really liking these fullbacks high and wide. 3 in the midfield. And then the 2 in front. Behind the striker. It worked really well, didn't it, for Manchester City against Newcastle, and it's working well again today. But it does mean we're susceptible to the counter. Crossing here on top of Vicario. Away by the Italian. Bernardo Silva. Phil Foden. Walker. Oh, taking liberties there. Walker into Richarlison does really well. Then clips it out wide towards Alvarez. Nicely done. Oscar Bob. Julian. Kovacic. Rodri. Alvarez. City looking brilliant here. Alvarez from range. Vicario makes the save. Adventurous from Alvarez. Tries to hit that one. Not with much power. Tries to bend it to the bottom corner. Vicario is a very good goalkeeper. Had that one covered. Clipped into the midfield by Vicario. Headed on by Bentancur. Nathan Ake pressing high. Wins it back. Foul by Ake and Richarlison. Late one by Nathan Ake. A mistake. Free kick Spurs. Mistaken touch by Ake, and then he just tried to make up for it in the Spurs half. Richarlison just got there before him. Ended up putting his foot in on Richarlison, giving away a free kick. Over the top here towards Kulusevski. Rodri's in there. Well done, City. Won it back again. Rodri. Kovacic. Wide left to Vardiol. City knock it around their own half, and they're playing really well here, City. Passing with purpose, which is really good to see. Rodri. Ake. Kovacic drifting out wide left here. Kovacic. Oh, he's given it away in a bad position here, Kovacic, and then he's put it behind for a corner. That's really poor from Mateo Kovacic, who's got to be better than that, Kovacic. He really has. Got to be a lot better than that. Gives it away in a bad position. And Spurs have a corner now from absolutely nothing. Mistake by the Croatian. Could Spurs pounce on a Manchester City mistake? Former Chelsea man Mateo Kovacic giving the ball away cheaply. The wide left-hand side of the field and putting it out for a corner. Crossing from Pedro Porro. Headed by Spurs, the far post on by Vardiol. On his far as Timo Werner. Spurs is number 16. Away. Højbjerg. On towards a doggy. Looking for that forward pass into Van der Ven. Romero. Well, Spurs want possession as well, just like Manchester City. Højbjerg. Back they go, Spurs through Bentancur to Van der Ven. And out towards Cuti Romero. Chased by Oscar Bob. Pedro Porro. Nice little reverse pass into Højbjerg here. Here's Brennan Johnson. Ball into Richarlison, dealt with well by City. Nathan Ake, poor clearance. Rodri gets it a second time out wide. Oscar Bob keeps it in. Brilliant from Oscar Bob there. Nicely done by the Norwegian. Vardiol. Back to Ortega. Tottenham with a high press there. Richarlison towards the end of that one. Bernardo Silva on the chest down to Kyle Walker. Into Foden. Foden makes it stick against Hojbjerg, who's in the back of Phil Foden there. Free kick Manchester City. It's the frustration of the Spurs fans, but Hojbjerg and the Spurs players didn't complain there. Foden holds off the Dane, who's in his back, pushing him. Gives away the free kick. Kovacic wide to Vardiol. Oscar Bob with spacing behind it. Into Alvarez. Julian. Turn. Alvarez. On towards Rodri. Rodri back wide to Oscar Bob here. Late one on Rodri. Referee plays advantage. Bob against Porro. Vardiol. City working down his left-hand side once again. Kovacic. Ake. Back into Kovacic. Oscar Bob on the turn. Bob into Rodri. Works it wide to Vardiol. Croatian gets on the end of it. Looks to cross it. Step over. Pulls it back to Bob. City keep possession. Rodri. Kovacic. Good play by City. Shifting this Spurs back line best they can. Into Diaz. A late one on Rodri again from Richarlison. Number 2 from Richarlison, which Rodri is getting a bit wound up with. Here's Phil Foden finding a pocket of space. Wide to Vardiol. Brilliant from Phil Foden. Vardiol in behind to Foden. It's a bad one by Vardiol. Not the best of passes. Nicely done by Phil Foden. Finding the pockets of space, but Vardiol couldn't get the quality of ball in. Here's Romero. Wide right to Brennan Johnson. Chased by Vardiol. Vardiol pushing Johnson back. Good tackle by Vardiol. Throw for Spurs. Deep. He's got to play well here, Vardiol, again today. Thought he was quite good against Newcastle. It's odd, isn't it, for Vardiol, because he's a centre-back being played at full-back. So he's being played out of position. You think, well, he's not an attacker, he's a defender. But actually, he's looking better going forward than defensively. And then you start to worry, don't you, a little bit? Well, the first 17 minutes of football flown by here. Very entertaining start to this FA Cup tie. Kulusevski. Oh, giving away to Alvarez, is it? No, Romero gets there, slams it forward. Along the floor, onto the centre circle to Kyle Walker. Foden. Rodri. Nice take by Rodri. Foul on Rodri again. He gets it wide towards Oscar Bob anyway. Bob for a little pocket space to Foden. And away by Mickey van der Ven. Unlucky. Very inventive from Bob and Foden there. Phil Foden and Oscar Bob, both players who can just find a pass through the smallest little spaces, can't they? Thread the island needle. Very close to doing it again there. Vardiol to take the throw in here. Into Rodri. Back to Joško Vardiol. In behind to Oscar Bob. He's onside here, is he, Bob? No, he's offside. And it's a free kick to Spurs. Romero to take it. Well, Kevin De Bruyne being shown on the Manchester City bench there alongside John Stones. City will perhaps look to Kevin De Bruyne again for inspiration to go on and win this one. But the way we've played so far, you think we could win it in without Kevin De Bruyne. Bentancur. Over to Romero. Forward by Romero to Richarlison. Up against Ruben Diaz. Richarlison goes down under pressure from Diaz. Free kick Spurs. Free kick Spurs here to take it. Richarlison is very good at the hold-up play, isn't he, in that side of the game. And James Maddison warming up here. Another player who's got ridiculous quality, hasn't he, Maddison? Can unlock a game from that midfield role. Van der Ven. Romero. Pedro Porro. And there is Oscar Bob. He thought he got the ball, but no, it's a foul on Pedro Porro. Free kick Spurs. Hojbjerg. Mickey van der Ven. There's a runner in there in Kulusevski into Timo Werner. Walker presses. Pep Guardiola urges the team on from the sidelines to keep that forward pressure. Here's Hojbjerg. Bentancur. Hojbjerg eliminates Manchester City's midfield. Just a few passes there. And Brennan Johnson in behind Vardiol. Brennan Johnson with the cross in. Vardiol blocks it. Good defending by Vardiol after being out of position, allowing that ball going behind to Johnson. A high line from City. Good little bit of 1-2 there by Hojbjerg and Bentancur in the midfield. Good block by Vardiol. It's a corner for Spurs now. Second corner of the game. The first one they had was quite dangerous. City managed to flick it away at the far post through Vardiol. So cross to come in here from Pedro Porro. Swung into that far post of Werner. Away by Ruben Diaz. Onto Hojbjerg. Under pressure from Vardiol. Goes across towards the doggy. Hojbjerg. Switch of play by Hojbjerg. Slice it a little bit. Difficult one for Porro to take, but he flicks it down towards Bentancur. Porro. Back towards Romero. In there is Rodri. Wins the ball off Romero. Referee gives a free kick. Hardly touched the captain there, but the Argentinian, who goes down under the slightest of touches, doesn't he, Romero? But likes to go on 2-foot people. There was a bit of a foul by Rodri there. Spurs grow into this now, says Chris. Certainly. And that is the worry for City, isn't it? Although, actually, I'd be more worried if City were dominating the game and not scoring. Bernardo Silva, great play. Foden. Foden here. The doggy pulling him and pushing him in. A doggy pulls Phil Foden down. And no free kick given for that one by a doggy. Very physical against Foden. Referee says nothing in it. Bentancur. Pedro Porro. Surprised Foden didn't appeal for a free kick there. A doggy very physical against him. Romero. I think Foden should have tried to thread it through to Alvarez, but Alvarez didn't really particularly make a run. Ball in behind to Werner here. Kyle Walker reads it. Ruben Diaz back away and out for a throw-in. Over the top of Kyle Walker, that ball, and nearly catches City out. A doggy to Van der Ven. Højbjerg. Bentancur. A doggy into Kulusevski. Poor touch by Kulusevski, otherwise they're in there. Rodri gives it away for Manchester City. Pressing by Richarlison, wins it back for Spurs. Ball in behind, giving away to Vardiol. Into Kovacic. City turn here. City looking to attack in the transition here. Kovacic won a ball to Phil Foden, but Foden beaten to it by Mickey Van der Ven. And behind for a throw-in. Well, Van der Ven is absolutely rapid, by the way. Absolutely rapid. Ridai. Hello, Ridai. Great to have you. Ridai, what's your prediction? Because you're usually right. Give us your prediction, Ridai. I predicted 3-2, by the way, for the Newcastle game before the game kicked off, and I was right. But I rarely am. Alvarez running into trouble here with Højbjerg. Rodri. Fires in behind towards Kyle Walker. Brilliant ball by Rodri. City, no one in the box. Walker looks up. There's no one there. Back out to Bernardo Silva. Rodri. Fahad is here as well. Welcome, Fahad. Great to have you. Walker into Foden. Looks to cross it. Van der Ven's there. Corner for Manchester City. Ridai said a 3-1 win for City. Well, you made me feel a lot more confident now, Ridai. Good to have you, Fahad. I like the profile picture there with Erling Haaland on it. The profile pictures are very small. It's hard to see what people have at all. But Fahad, I can see Erling Haaland clearly on yours. Corner ball, Manchester City. Just under 23 minutes in the clock here. Alvarez to swing this one in. Set piece from City's Argentinian. In by the number 19, away easily by Bentancur. Foden can't beat Kulusevski to it. Counter Spurs here. Here's Dejan Kulusevski. Chased by Alvarez. Kulusevski. Alvarez did well to hold him off. Kulusevski pulled back. Here's Højbjerg. MK's here looking for a goal. Chris says 3-1, says Ridai. Great, now we can go to the pub. Exactly. Ridai's really ever wrong. Ball in behind here for Spurs. Chance of Pedro Porro. Richarlison in the middle. Good goalkeeping by Stefan Ortega. He looked offside there, but well done. Ortega dropped down and caught that one before it found Richarlison ready for a tap-in. Biggest news today for Liverpool, says Ridai. Yeah, I mean, does that mean Pep Guardiola decides to go as well at the end of the season? You never know. I don't think so. Also, it's worrying that Liverpool will get another good manager, won't they? Xabi Alonso, Roberto De Zerbi. Definitely on the list. Julian Nagelsmann. All very good managers, by the way. Kovacic. Forward to Alvarez. What a ball. Mickey Van der Ven. In on Alvarez again. Alvarez managed to keep it in, though. Away from Van der Ven. Alvarez. Van der Ven still chases him. Lays it off to Rodri. Back to Alvarez. And into Bernardo Silva. Bernardo. Diaz. Kovacic. He's playing a lot of forward passes at the moment, Kovacic, and I'm liking it. Joško Vardiol. Good running by Rodri. Vardiol's had space created for him. And he switches the play brilliantly out towards Kyle Walker on the chest of City's captain. Bernardo. Ridai can see Xabi Alonso becoming a new manager. I can as well. I think that is worrying because he's obviously a good manager. Here's Joško Vardiol. Wide to Oscar Bob. Bob for City. Against Porro. Back into Kovacic. Onto Rodri. Foden. Foden. Bob. Wide to Vardiol. Space opening up. Vardiol with an absolutely shocking cross. What a bit of play by City. Pep says Joško and throws his hands out. He's not happy with Vardiol there. Great play from City. Bob turns into Vardiol. He's just going to put a decent cross in, Vardiol. Pep Guardiola... It mouths the name of Joško Vardiol in frustration there. He's got to put a better cross in. Bernardo into Kulusevski. A free kick goal spurs his way for a foul by Bernardo Silva on the Swede on this far side. He's a dirty player, Kulusevski. I remember the game at the Etihad I was there. The amount of fouls he made. And he never got booked. Romero. Pedro Porro. Onto Brennan Johnson. Giving away. Chance for City here. Alvarez, come on. Oscar on the overlap. Alvarez. Kovacic. Kovacic shot blocked away. City should do better there. Richarlison into Kulusevski. Running away from Kyle Walker. Kulusevski. Physically outdone by Kyle Walker. Ends up on the floor. And Kyle Walker back in possession for Manchester City. Good play by City. Good defending by Walker. Nice and physical. Up against Kulusevski there. Kovacic. Clips one out wide right to Bernardo Silva. Walker. Vardiol hasn't adapted yet. He's not that good. I would have played Stones and Ake as a left back. Yeah, Vardiol's not very good at crossing, is he? His final ball's not there, but he's not a full-back, is he, Ridai? He was signed as a centre-back. He's playing full-back. I think that is going to be tough for him. Ortega Moreno takes a risk, but great ball into Kovacic. Oscar Bob. Into the middle to Phil Foden. Space for City again here. Brilliant play by City. Foden through to Alvarez. Mickey van der Ven is on him. Julian Alvarez here. Into Phil Foden again. A doggy gets there. Gives it away to Foden. Still got it. A doggy so physical. And the free kick goes Spurs his way. Well, he's very, very physical, a doggy. City. I think City is struggling. They haven't really got the pace to get him behind Van der Ven or a doggy or Romero. Give him time, he'll adapt, says Fahad. 3 times Foden has been bullied off the ball and not quick enough. Docky might have some success if he gets a chance later, says Chris. Yeah, well, a doggy is a very physical... I mean, a doggy and Van der Ven, both real athletes. And Phil Foden's struggling against that, isn't it? Because they're physically, they're outdoing him. And they're actually quicker than him as well. So, Foden's going to need a bit more skill to get past them. Long ball by Vicario. Rodri's watching it. Rodri back to goalkeeper Ortega, easily dealt with. Well done, City. Well done, City. I think there could be a sale of a defender and invest in the top left back. But the thing is, who, says Ridai? I don't know. I don't know who would leave. I don't think we'd get rid of any of the centre-backs, really. I think a full-back's necessary, though. A left-back and a right-back, maybe, if we're going to play attacking right-back, because Kyle Walker's the only player who can play that position. Rico Lewis, we're saying, is a midfielder now. Bernardo Silva, out wide to Vardiol. Good play from City. Come on, Joško. That killer ball. That better pass. Kovacic. Good play by Kovacic again here. Foden. Kovacic. Fired it, Foden, right into Kovacic. He's never going to be able to control that, Mateo Kovacic. It's behind for a goal kick. Foden absolutely hammers this at Mateo Kovacic. There's nothing the Croatian can do to control that. Spurs to take the goal kick here. And Van der Ven takes it short to Vicario. Here's the Italian. Bentancur dropping deep. Onto Romero. Flicks it through to Bentancur. Nathan Ake from centre-backs out there to try and win it. And Vardiol wins it back for City, but gives it away to Romero. Pedro Porro pressing by Oscar Bob, who's pulled down by Porro. Referee says no free kick. Vardiol in there to cancel the ball through. Here is Brennan Johnson. A doggy. Spurs work it wide. Kyle Walker with a crucial interception there. Gets it forward. Spurs there making runs in behind. City struggling, but just managed to stop the counter. Just. Walker with a crucial interception. Here's Højbjerg. Romero, back to Vicario. It's an entertaining game, this one, isn't it? A real good game of football. I'm enjoying it. Vicario under pressure from Alvarez. Oh, the Italian taking time on the ball here. Ends up putting it out for a throw in. Vicario there. He's shouting at his Spurs players if it's their fault. The fact is, just kick it away, Vicario, when you're under pressure like that. Taking his time there, the Italian. Bernardo throws it back towards Diaz. Onto Nathan Ake. Wide to Joško Vardiol. Vardiol. And towards Ake. Heavy touch by Ake. Takes it around with Richarlison. Then to Oscar Bob. Brilliant from Nathan Ake. Brilliant from Nathan Ake. Vardiol. Back into Ake. Tries to flick it past Romero, can't do. Vardiel, good pressing. Spurs in trouble again here. Oh, Van der Ven, step overs in his own box, nearly there. Nearly caught out by Phil Foden. Romero. Wide to Pedro Porro, space for Spurs. Long ball by the Spaniard. What a ball in behind towards Richarlison. Stefan Ortega, sweeper keeper. And good sweeper keeping there by Ortega. Waited for it and helped City out. I won't mind if Cancelo fixes things and back in the starting lineup, but we can dream, says Ridai. I don't want him back, Ridai. I think he's burnt his bridges, Cancelo. It's his own problem. I wouldn't take him back now. Rodri into Bob. Phil Foden. Wide to Vardiel. Vardiel. Oscar Bob. Rodri. Kovacic. Ruben Diaz. Kyle Walker. Wide to Bernardo Silva. Spacing behind for Alvarez. Bernardo goes back towards Kyle Walker. Walker. Nice switch of play to Vardiel here. Big switch to the Croatian on the far left-hand side. Here's Joško Vardiel. Vardiel. Oh, he's giving it away again, Vardiel. He's not playing well, Vardiel. Certainly he's not playing well. There's no one else who can play that position other than maybe Sergio Gomez. Here is Doggy, under pressure again by City. Rodri pressing. Van der Ven forward. That's Kyle's all day long against Werner. He gets there. Foul by Walker on Werner. Free kick Spurs who take it. Not from the position it was taken from. And Paul Tierney now. I don't know what he's stopping the game for yet. Paul Tierney. But there's something. Is it Paul Tierney? Is it Simon Hooper? I think it's Paul Tierney. Both are bald now, so I can't tell the difference really. Well, there's something going on here. Oh, it's the assistant referee's microphone has run out of battery. I thought maybe then for a second there was some sort of decision, contentious decision that VAR was looking at and no one knew about, but no. It's the assistant, the linesman. His speaker's out of power. So, or his microphone's out of battery or whatever. So the game's being slowed down now by the officiating. But a very good opening 20 minutes by City. 32 minutes on the clock. City have been really good. I think we need to score 2 chances before Spurs get their counter-attacking brilliance. I don't know. But it's taking some time to fix this one. And we're just waiting now to see what happens. I was watching showreel of Yan Kuto on YouTube, says Chris. Well, Yan Kuto could be the man to come in as a backup fullback next season to Kyle Walker, with Rico Lewis seemingly being a centre-back now. Being a central midfielder now. Then, you know, Yan Kuto playing the Kyle Walker role, I think he could do really well. He's been playing that role pretty much for Girona. My 2 issues with Yan Kuto are, defensively, I think he's not the best defender. So, you know, you have to be careful with him. And also with Yan Kuto is he's very slight. He's very, very small. He's not the most physical. If they put across the far post, he's not heading it away. He's very small. He's very slight. And he's never grown. I think he's about 5'7". He's only a little bit bigger than Rico Lewis. So that's something to keep an eye on. Definitely. But I rate him highly. Ridice rates him highly as well. Yeah, I think a lot of people do rate him highly. Manchester City rated him very highly. That's why they went and signed him after he impressed in the Olympics for Brazil. Barcelona had a deal agreed for him, but Pep Guardiola rang Yan Kuto, changed his decision. Since then, he's never featured really for Manchester City. But I think in this formation where Kyle Walker's playing high and wide or inside, Yan Kuto could do it very easily. Very easily. Well, 34 minutes on the clock now. And they're taking some time to fix this microphone issue with the linesman. The highlights are being shown. City have had the ball in the back of the net. Forget Kimmich, our midfield is good, attacking is good. We should focus on that left back, says Ridai. Yeah, I think there's some areas. I think City want a right winger. That's something they've said many a time. They want someone to play that right side. The names on the list are Savio from Girona, Michael Olise, Pedro Neto, and there was another one as well. I can't remember who it was now. There was another one. Johan Bakayoko could have been the other one. There was 3 names on the list for Manchester City. Pedro Neto certainly up there. Nico Williams, I think also. But he seems to work better off the left-hand side, Nico Williams, actually. So I don't think City will make that mistake. Bring in, like, Doku, another player who wants to play on the other side. Neto, Elise, Savio, your 3. Attacking midfield, Paquetá, Wirtz and Musiala. Defensive midfield, Kimmich, João Neves, or Alan Varela. And then you've got left-back Miguel Gutierrez, Alphonso Davies, who is out of contract, isn't he? Bayern Munich. Coming up soon, Ian Maatsen. Right back, Couto, Frimpong, Bob and Savio. What a partnership on the wings that would be, says Ridite. Both very, very good players. Followed by Spurs, it's gone out here. Throwing for City on the far side. The linesman has got his microphone working back again. Throwing towards Rodri in the centre of the midfield. Rodri, a relaxed pass back to Walker, which instigated the Spurs press. Diaz, Ake. Rodri. Back to Ortega. City happy to play back if necessary. Stefan Ortega. Clips one into Kyle Walker, who keeps this one in a header behind to Phil Foden. It's stayed in, this one. Adori's had to keep it in as he hoped to watch it roll out for a throw-in. Kulusevski. On to Romero. Cuti Romero here. There's going to be quite a few minutes of added time, I bet, for City today. Against Spurs with that, 4 or 5 minute delay for just the linesman there. Mickey van der Ven past Bernardo Silva. Bernardo tried to tackle him. Free kick Spurs. Bernardo attempts to win it. Højbjerg goes short here. Pedro Porro, Bentancur. Højbjerg. Can smell a goal, says Ridite. I hope you're right. I hope it's a Manchester City goal. Vicario. Mickey van der Ven. Back to Vicario. Chased by Alvarez. Clearance away by Vicario. On towards Kulusevski. Bernardo's in there. Can't win it off Kulusevski, but Rodri can. Referee gives a free kick Spurs his way. Rodri can't believe it, but he runs off in frustration with his hands on his head. Here is Romero for Spurs. Burst forward does Cristian Romero. Back to Højbjerg. Good ball into Pedro Porro, who's found some space here. City trying to hold the line. Spurs are in behind. Bad ball and into Ortega. Easily dealt with by City. If Spurs get the timing of that run and pass right, we're in trouble, because they look really good. I did it again. I forgot to say which team to score, says Ridai. Well, I hope it's not Spurs. Ortega out to Kyle Walker. Poor touch by Walker. Back to Diaz. Lumps it away up to Phil Foden. Headed on to Højbjerg. Given away by Foden. Bentancur. Kovacic wins it. Bob in there as well. Porro. Bentancur. Ball through. Dealt with by Bernardo Silva. 3 on Kyle Walker here. Doggy. Timo Werner. Back to Bentancur. Clipped in by Bentancur towards Pedro Porro. Vardiol wins the header. Physically trying to beat them to it. Vardiol quick. Romero pressing him. Romero, great play. Kovacic can't win it. Højbjerg, nicely done by Spurs. Work it around Manchester City here. Why they go to Timo Werner? Werner got some space in this far side, but now still trying to get back. Werner. Back out towards the wide right side. Pedro Porro. Here is Mickey van der Ven. The doggy. Pressure from Walker. Here is the doggy. Wide towards Timo Werner. In behind is Kulusevski with space here. Crosses it. Blocked by Diaz. Back to Kulusevski. Werner. Back to Kulusevski again. Kyle Walker stronger than him. Still keeps it alive here. Walker wins it again. And out for a throw-in. Walker frustrated there. Got to do better. Got to do better, City. Defensive looking a little bit shaky there. Spurs building up some momentum here, says Chris. Yeah, I can feel it as well. I think Ridai can feel it as well. Is Maddison on the bench as Ridai is? Chancellor, come on, Vardiol into Oscar Bob. Took off his toes by Bentancur. Come on, Bosco, got to be better. Spurs feel like something's going to happen here. Something's coming, isn't it? A goal seems to be coming. But will it be City or Spurs' way? Kulusevski. Past Bernardo Silva like he's not there. Kulusevski with the ball in behind. The referee played an advantage. Now he'll bring it back for a free kick to Spurs. Well, the yellow card they want for Diaz, or they want a yellow card as well for Bernardo Silva for making the foul. Brian Hill on the bench there, who looks like Brighton captain Lewis Dunk in a wig. 3 goals and 5 assists this season for James Maddison, which is not really unbelievable numbers, is it? But Bernardo Silva's been given a talking to here to stop making the fouls. Another foul by Bernardo Silva there, this time on Mickey van der Ven. Højbjerg. Højbjerg pass Foden too easy. Ball in behind Walker to Timo Werner here. Into the box to Richarlison. Good defending by Nathan Ake. And away by Walker. Kovacic. Dribbles past a few players on the edge of his own box here. And past Højbjerg. Brilliant from Kovacic. Brennan Johnson slides in on him. Into Oscar Bob. Back to Kovacic here. Counter from City. Kovacic. Onto Rodri's behind him slightly. Rodri still works it wide to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo. City with a chance here. Bernardo. Rodri shoots. Blocked away. Kovacic in the rebound. It's Oscar Bob. Blocked away brilliantly by Pedro Porro. How have City not scored there? Maybe a different timeline. In a different universe, Maddie moves to City and takes responsibility when De Bruyne is injured, says Ridai. Maybe. Would have been a good signing, Maddison. But he is always injured himself. Great chance for City. Kovacic livid that City didn't score there. Brilliant break from Kovacic, says Chris. It was. The way he ran at the opposition there, Kovacic. Brilliant feet. Dribble it from his own box all the way to the other end of the field. And create a chance for City. Corner now for City. Can City get a goal here? It seems like we're really struggling to score at this ground. Continually. Crossing to the near post. Away by Højbjerg. Behind for another corner. Ruben Diaz is on Vicario. And Vicario doesn't like it. Oscar Bob chance. I mean, there were 3 Spurs players throwing their bodies in there to block that. Rodri lights up when 25 yards out of the ball, says Ridai. Does. I mean, you expect him to score, actually, when it comes to the edge of the box. Crossing by Alvarez again. Ake in there. To the far post. Vardiol. Richarlison heads it away. Clipped away by Timo Werner. Throwing Manchester City. Come on, City. Keep this pressure on now. Sliced away by the German Werner. Bernardo Silva for Manchester City. Bernardo drops it. And he's going to let Kyle Walker, the fullback, come across and take it. We'll have this time on, but that's fine. More chance for City to get a goal, perhaps. Walker throws it in quickly towards Bernardo Silva. A doggy arms all over Bernardo here. Very physical by a doggy. Walker wins it back. Bernardo Silva. Into Werner. Not only as far as Mickey van der Ven, who clears it away to Kulusevski. Past Rodri. Kulusevski into Richarlison. Kovacic sliding challenge. Brilliant tackle by Kovacic. Kulusevski against Ake. Ake gets it away from him. Well done, Ake. Lumps it away, Ake, to stop Spurs having a counter there. That should be a yellow card for Nathan Ake, but it wasn't. Ake there, that's very clever from Ake. Heads it, he can't keep it in. He pretends to keep it in and just lumps it into the stands here to make sure there's no counter. It's a definite yellow card for dissent. But he gets away with it. And Spurs end up having to slow down for the throw-in. And now they do take it with a doggy. A good 20-30 seconds later, it felt like. Mickey van der Ven. Romero. Højbjerg slams it with the right foot forward. Just to bend it into the path. Vardiol there. Ake away into the far side towards Oscar Bob, who's showing his pace there, Bob, but physically crunched into by Bentancur. And outdone. City's pressing trouble here. Because here's Pedro Porro. Porro in towards Richarlison. Good take by Bernardo Silva back to Ortega. Porro goes chasing. Ortega kicks it away towards Foden. On the chest of Phil Foden. Foden, ball forward to Alvarez. Romero takes it well. He shouldn't have gone for the difficult pass there, Foden. He had 2 players in the far left-hand side. And he's gone for the killer pass. The De Bruyne-esque passing behind to Alvarez. It's not worked out. Overcomplicating things there, Phil Foden. Vicario. Romero. Bentancur. Porro. Bentancur. Run away is Romero. Ball forward here. Brennan Johnson. He spun Vardiol physically. Brennan Johnson can't keep it in. Vardiol gets away with that one there. Gone very tight to Brennan Johnson, who spun him. Done really well physically. And nearly in big trouble there. Joško Vardiol. Ruben Diaz for Manchester City. Diaz. Back to Ake. Across to Diaz again on this right-hand side. Diaz with a long ball forward. It's a great ball through to Oscar Bob here. What a ball by Diaz. Bob for City. Pulls it back to Foden. Foden the volley. Foden wide of the post. Foden wants it low into the feet Bob put it in the air slightly. Lifted it to Phil Foden. Foden physically just couldn't hold off a doggy and then get the shot in. The doggy gets his body in there. Good defending from the fullback. Close again from City, but not close enough for a die. It's quite a way wide by Phil Foden. Long by Vicario. Ruben Diaz against Richarlison. Diaz wins that. Richarlison's crying. A doggy physically pushes Rodri. Nothing given. A doggy goes and jumps on the ball, and the referee gives a free kick Spurs his way. That's the way it goes. A doggy hands all over Rodri. No free kick. Rodri hands all over a doggy. Spurs free kick. Rodri not happy with that one. Someone needs to be a sub in case Foden is getting bullied, says Renai. Yeah, well, De Bruyne, I assume, is the man. Foden is struggling. Here's Romero. Runners. Kulusevski is one of them. And he still holds off Vardiol there. Kulusevski straight into Rodri. Alvarez, Julian. Alvarez. Richarlison drops back to help his team out. He's horrible, Richarlison, isn't he? Cannot stand him. Bernardo, lovely skill into Kovacic. Richarlison with a kick on Kovacic. And again by Richarlison. And Kovacic drives away from the challenges brilliantly. But Richarlison here, who loves a nasty little challenge, I hope, gets one on him himself. Because he likes a few of those, Richarlison. And he's twice tried to dunk Kovacic there. Vardiol lost it. Give it away. Vardiol might get dragged at half-time, honestly. He's really struggling. Bentancur. Kulusevski gives it away. Vardiol gets it back for City. Well done. Rodri. Foden. Foden for City. Foden taken down by Højbjerg. Then Rodri. Advantage play, says the referee. No advantage for City. So we end up just going back one. Vardiol into Ake. Rodri for Manchester City. Rodri. Wide to Joško Vardiol. Vardiol. Kovacic. Ake. Diaz. Brennan Johnson pressing. Into Bernardo Silva. Well done, City. Break out from the press easily. I feel like one of our players is going to get injured from a Richarlison tackle today. Just seems like he's in that mood, the Brazilian. Rodri. Wide to Vardiol. Space again for Vardiol. Nice clip into Foden, is it? Mickey van der Ven heads it away. Alvarez against Højbjerg. Bernardo Silva back into Alvarez. Julian. One back again. Alvarez still. Past Romero. Clipped away by Van der Ven. Vardiol against Johnson. Foul on him. Referee says no, they play on. Brennan Johnson's gone down with a head injury. What a joke. Doesn't even touch the head of the Welshman. Get up, Brennan Johnson. Absolutely nothing wrong with him. Header, nothing in that at all. Brennan Johnson, very soft. Vardiol, can see that. Brennan Johnson's fine. Richarlison's in there again, causing trouble. Move on, Richarlison. He wonders why he gets... People don't like him, Richarlison, but he's got that Bruno Fernandes energy about him, hasn't he? Glenn Hoddle on the sidelines there, watching on. He's a Spurs fan, of course. Glenn Hoddle, former England and Spurs manager. There's a few people here I think are going to come onto the field at half-time for Spurs, maybe. 6 added minutes, by the way, which I didn't mention. We're already quite a few into it. I'm engrossed in the game. Nothing wrong with Brennan Johnson here. Get up. He's finally up. Nothing wrong when they play on. City have stuffed them in this half. Just need to up a gear second half if we lose. This is a travesty. Well, this is the sort of game we expect to lose, isn't it, really, Linda? Done on the counter. Done on the counter, probably. Can't score our chances, done on the counter. Long ball by Ortega to Walker is a brilliant one. Walker, well played. A doggy chasing. Walker. A doggy. Not physically going to outdo Kyle Walker. Pull it back towards Phil Foden here. Foden. Pulled by Kulusevski. Rodri. Flicked it out wide to Vardiol. I'd like to see Docky come in the second half. We need space to skip past their defences, Chris. We're being outmuscled, tried to play through them. Docky would be a brilliant change. I just don't know. It'd have to be Bob, and I think Bob's played quite well. Maybe Foden. Although Foden's our creative hub, isn't he? Walker, crossing, blocked by a doggy behind fought. The throw-in for City. 50 minutes on the clock now. 1 minute of the added time in the second half to play. Here's Nathan Ake. Wide left to Vardiol. Vardiol. I don't think City are going to push for a goal before the end of the half here. But I could be wrong. Diaz. Wide to Walker. Walker back to Diaz again. Nathan Ake. Vardy on that far left-hand side for City. Ake. Clips into Walker. No runners for Walker, so he's gone back to Rodri. Alvarez made a run. Rodri into Oscar Bob. Takes it. Back wide to Vardy for Oscar Bob. Into Bob again. Bob. Brings the players in. Decides not to release a pass. Bernardo Silva. Kovacic. Into Foden. Foden to Alvarez. Wide to Walker. Werner beats Walker to it. Held off Werner. Throwing for City. City just that little bit short, aren't we, at times? That is half-time. Tottenham 0, City 0. It will be a replay if it ends in a draw here today. Rodri's gone straight to Paul Tierney to ask about why a doggy can put his hands all over City players, but the City players can't do the same back. Half-time 0-0. I'll be back for the second half. I'll have a short break. Let us know in the comments what you think. But like Chris is saying, second half we need to bring Doku on maybe. Kevin De Bruyne surely is in Pep Guardiola's thinking. We'll be back for the second half after this short break. It's Haaland, and here in career mode, City have won the lot. Rodri on the chance! Goal in the final by Rodri! Jude Bellingham will not be coming to Manchester City. We are Premier League champions, City FC, our champions series based on the World Cup with music videos, football and more. Get your official City FC merchandise. Join us as we explore historic Europe and football.
Got enough of every melody, they all sound the same. Yeah, for my broken heart can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so good. Memories now let me fall back. But you'll be there, ready to rescue me if I go out of track. You can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so good.
fucking, I'm so quick to hit ignore. Buku bitches in my bed, I got scales all on my floor. I got money on the line, plus I'm clocking it galore. I got bitches kissing bitches, so them bitches go explore. I'm feeling way up, I stay up. Put your bitch on my Snapchat, while I make her. She want a chance with me, cause she know I'm a rapper. I give a but I never get feelings, cause shorty, I know what you after. Okay, they watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. Get hit in my section at 12, gon' find your ass way in New Orleans. Watch I look, I'm jugging. Dissect your hand if your hand in my putting, put two in your man if your man keep a looking. Act like a poopy, your bitch get tookin'. I'm not the type to go fuck with them niggas who fuck with them niggas who stay on some fish. Oh, young and trapping out the bando, from the ceiling fan to the damn floor, trying to stack my money up, cause that's the only way we can go. Tell my mama that I'm okay, see the money coming through the doorway. Got a bad bitch with a lot of money, that's foreplay. Okay, they watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me.
You got me trapped inside this spell. Now I feel like, now I feel like your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel that.
It's Haaland, and here in career mode, City have won the lot. Rodri on the chance! Goal in the final by Rodri! Jude Bellingham will not be coming to Manchester City. We are Premier League champions, City FC, our champions series based on the World Cup with music videos, football and more. Get your official City FC merchandise. Join us as we explore historic Europe and football. So welcome back to the second half of Manchester City versus Tottenham Hotspur. Thank you very much to Alfie Lively, who's now joined the We Are City Silver Club for lots of extra content, exclusive member series, and also extended episodes of all our career mode episodes and early access as well. So thank you very much to Alfie Lively for joining the We Are City Silver Members Club. That is great to see a new member on board with the Members Club, which is continually growing, and that is great to see. Alfie, who's been a member in the past, he's back again. And he's back to be a member here at the We Are City channel. Thank you. On to the second half, which is about to kick off. The teams are out back on the field now. Managers back in the dugouts in Ange Postecoglou and Pep Guardiola. Out come Spurs through the tunnel now, ready for an exciting second half. They have been, I'm sure, motivated by their manager, Ange Postecoglou. The Australian Pep Guardiola, I'm sure, will have motivated Manchester City. Maybe some tactical tweaks we'll have to see. I thought City's most influential and impressive player in the first half was Mateo Kovacic, who was absolutely everywhere in that first half, drove with the ball forward time and time again, despite making little mistakes here and there, which he has done, which obviously happens in the game of football. Very impressive. City's poorest performer, maybe Joško Vardiel, the two Croatians, the polar opposites of each other in that first half. Manchester City versus Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Will we see Manchester City score their first ever goal at this ground after, what, too many attempts, 6 or 7 attempts. City versus Spurs. And it's underway. Richarlison gets underway for this second half of football. Can Manchester City come out on top? Long ball back to Vicario. Van de Ven across to Romero. Pressing by Oscar Bob. City come out nice and intense this second half. Pedro Porro with a touch into the wide area. The ball forward to be chased by Brennan Johnson. Stefan Ortega Moreno. Good running again by the goalkeeper. Finds Nathan Ake, who gets it forward to Romero. Over top towards Højbjerg. Oscar Bob can't win the header. Pedro Porro. Just kept in by Bentancur. Along the line there on his far right hand side. And Romero gets back to goalkeeper Vicario. Long on the left foot of the Italian. Walker in there on Werner. City have lost out here. Diaz out of position. Good tackle by Diaz. Crucial tackle on Dejan Kulusevski. Bernardo Silva rides the challenge of the Swede. Bernardo Silva. Kulusevski gets a footed in the end. And back to Destiny Udogie. Then off Bernardo and out for a throw into Manchester City. Footflick says this game has been boring as hell. I think it's been quite good actually, Footflicks. I've enjoyed it. It's been played at a high intensity. There's not been amazing chances, but there's been a few chances. Long ball to Richarlison. Diaz in the back of the Brazilian. Richarlison flicks it away. Richarlison sent back. And he goes back to Mickey van der Ven. On to Vicario. Højbjerg. Back to Vicario again. Wants to go to Romero, but he can't do. He clips it into a path to Romero. It's a really good pass by the goalkeeper. Romero keeps it in and goes down the line towards Pedro Porro. Back to Bentancur. Big switch by the Uruguayan. Taken down by Kyle Walker. Bernardo Silva flicks it through to Diaz. The press of Spurs is on. And City go back to Ortega. Inviting the press of the opposition. Ortega long. Kovacic on the chest to Phil Foden. Foden. Wide to Kyle Walker. Back into Mateo Kovacic here. Kovacic through to Walker. Pace against the Doggy. The Doggy gets there well. Good pace from him. Cleared away by Vicario. Flicked on by Kulusevski. Ruben Diaz with a mistake on the touch of the ball, but he does really well with it. Bernardo Silva. Nice touch. First time volley back to goalkeeper Ortega. He's played nice and high out of his goal here. He's been a good sweeper keeper so far, Ortega. Out to Vardiel. Good ball. Essentially to Alvarez, who's onside here. Julian. Good take by City. Finding big areas of space. Rodri. Alvarez. Into Vardiel. Oscar Bob makes a run. Vardiel. To Bernardo Silva. Into Foden. Bad touch by Phil Foden on the right foot. And the move breaks down again. Given away by Spurs to Kovacic. Here's Bob crossing to the far post to Alvarez! And he's missed the sitter. I feel we need Doku in De Bruyne says foot flicks. We need to skip past defenders. We've been out muscle. What a game. Van der Ven has been having. Yeah, he's a brilliant defender, Mickey Van der Ven. What a signing he is. Balling by Bob's perfect. And Alvarez misses an absolute sitter. Wait, it's a tackle by Van der Ven. It's a tackle by Mickey Van der Ven. Because I was thinking, how has he missed that? What a ball by Bob. Alvarez misses a great chance. Cross him. Pedro Porro clips it away. Rodri against Kulusevski, who gets his body in there. Rodri back out towards Alvarez. Rodri once more. Alvarez again. No one in the box. Mickey van der Ven slices it away. Out for a throw. And there was no one in the box there for City anyway. City on the front foot at the start of the second half. Again. But still yet to score a goal at Spurs Stadium. City waiting for Kyle Walker to take it. Alvarez does instead. Ruben Diaz. Bernardo Silva. Alvarez up against the doggy. Back to Walker. Deflected into Phil Foden's path. City get a bit lucky. Rodri, Kovacic. Oh, nice idea towards Bernardo and lucky. Counter on for Spurs, but well done Nathan Ake. Back to Diaz. Diaz into Ake. Under pressure Ake. Back to Diaz. City work it back to Ortega. Well done Manchester City. Ortega. Out left us to Joško Vardiol. Could have gone to Bob, decided against it. Ake. Back to Ortega. Ortega wide right to Walker. On the chest of Kyle. Back to Diaz. Long forward by Ruben. Højbjerg in the back of Phil Foden. Outmuscled him again. Diaz down to Rodri. Back to Diaz. Under pressure from Werner. Bernardo back to Ortega. City so good. What do you think of Klopp leaving? Says Foot Flicks. Well, it's a shock, isn't it? I couldn't believe it, actually. But I think that'll really motivate Liverpool. I think that'll really motivate Liverpool to try and do the best to try and win everything for him this season. Whether they do it or not, I don't know. But it certainly will give them massive motivation. Into Oscar Bob here. Bob behind to Alvarez. Foden in the middle. Alvarez into Foden. It's Vardiol, the centre-back. Foden offside behind for a corner. Good tackle against Spurs. Show some really good last-ditch defending. They might show a bit of last-ditch defending as well. But last-ditch defending-wise, Spurs are brilliant at that. It will motivate their fans too. Playing at Anfield will be hell, says Footflix. Yeah, I think it'll be massive for Liverpool. But I hope it ends in tears, to be honest with you. I really do. Crossing for Julian Alvarez here. Crossing towards the near post. Bentancur away. Alvarez is pretty much swinging it in right on top of the goalkeeper. He's sort of shooting, isn't he, Alvarez? Diaz is on Vicario. Bit of a push on him. Cross comes in from Spurs again. Alvarez once again to that near post. Pedro Porro away. Foden takes it down. Poor by Foden, and he get away with it. Flicks into Kovacic. He slipped there, Foden. I was worried. Bernardo goes back to Ortega. City happy to start again with the German. Ortega. In towards Vardy. A lovely ball by Ortega. City have got 3 over in Alvarez and Bob on the far left-hand side. Here's for Julian Alvarez. Alvarez. I think Alvarez, his first touch is really bad. I've noticed. Kovacic. Brennan Johnson sliding in on the Croatian again. Ake. Joško Vardiol. Oh, tried to pass it into Alvarez. Mistake by Vardiol. City give it away again, but he goes and wins it back. Vardiol, well played. That's what we want to see. Ortega's distribution. His Edison class, as Chris. I genuinely do believe we've got 2 goalkeepers that are probably just about as good as each other. And I don't know how we keep Ortega next season. Vardiol into Bob, giving away. Højbjerg intercepts. I do not know how we keep Ortega next season. Kovacic for a tackle on Kulusevski. He won the ball there, clear as day. Get up! Play on, Kulusevski. You can roll about on the floor all you want, you cheat. Oh, bad ball by Bernardo. The doggy intercepts. They want to play on now, don't they? Werner with a nutmeg on Bernardo Silva here. Timo Werner. Ball through. Brennan Johnson's in. Ortega out. Great goalkeeping. Well done, Ortega. What a goalkeeper he is. Kovacic back into Rodri. Brilliant from City. Heavy touch by Rodri. He's given it away. So poor by Rodri there. Kulusevski. Lazarus back to his feet. It's a miracle. I thought his career was over the way he was writhing about on the floor. Hopefully we can keep Ortega. We don't need to worry that Edison gets injured. We won't keep Ortega next season. We'd have to be paying big money to sit on the bench because I think there's many teams in Europe that say to Stefan Ortega, listen, you can come and play number 1 goalkeeper for us and play in the Champions League. Really good save by Ortega. Honestly, I mean, Bayern Munich could have him as number 1. He's that good. He's that good. Well, he's under trouble here. Ortega lumps it away straight to a doggy. We're going to concede here. Timo Werner, blocked by Diaz. Handball, say Spurs. They play on. Could that have been a handball by Ruben Diaz? I'm not sure. Romero. Out to Porro. Cross in. Away by Rodri. Out for a throw-in. Spurs say it was a handball. No. Hits the chest of Ruben Diaz. Never a handball. Don't know what Timo Werner's looking at. But it hits the chest of Ruben Diaz. Never a handball. Timo Werner must play with his eyes closed. The topic of buying, I think City should really push for the Kimmich deal. 30 million for a player of that class. As Steele says, Footflix. Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me. If City go and sign Kimmich for 30 million. If they want 30 million for him. Well, Richarlison's been told off by the referee to stop it, whatever he's doing. He's been told to stop here, Richarlison, for being his usual self. But yeah, I think Kimmich would be great. I just don't know where he fits, really. I think I'd go for a younger player project. I'd go for... Personally, I'd bring in João Neves. Personally, I'd bring in João Neves. That's just me. He's only young. There's a lot of development you can do with him. Vardy, great interception. Rodri. Into Foden. Makes it stick, Phil Foden. Out to Kovacic. Vardy. Zubimendi says Footflix. He's a good option as well. I don't think he'll accept sitting on the bench, though. Like, maybe a João Neves would at only 18, 19 years of age. A lot of development in him. Although he's going to cost a lot of money, maybe, from Benfica. But I think he would be... He's sort of Gundogan, Rodri, Bernardo Silva rolled into one, really. From what I've seen of him. I don't think we want an out-and-out holding midfielder. I don't think that's going to work. I'd like someone to come in and see out games. But, I mean, I thought Calvin Phillips was the man to do that. The sort of Fernandinho where when you want to see games out, you can bring him on alongside Rodri and try and be defensive. But that never worked for Calvin Phillips. And he was like sort of an out-and-out proper holding midfielder, wasn't he? So I don't know. Great ball there. Good tackle by Kovacic on Udogodi. How is that a foul? Kovacic tackles a doggy. He gets the ball and he gives a yellow card to Kovacic. João... Or maybe it was a foul by Kovacic. Maybe. I thought he got the ball at first there. Apparently if City want João Neves from Benfica, at least 90 million. Well, his release clause is 110 million euros, about 90 million Footflix. So it's there from that situation whether they want to negotiate or they say pay his release clause. I could see someone like Man United paying his release clause, to be honest with you. They're that sort of panic. They'll panic and pay that, like Chelsea with Enzo Fernandez. Van der Ven back to the goalkeeper, Vicario. Romero. Kovacic's got to be careful now because he is on a yellow card. He likes to throw his body about in challenges a little bit too much, Kovacic, I think, for my liking. Vicario. Into Van der Ven. Kulusevski. Chased down by Bernardo Silva. Van der Ven. Vicario. Over to Romero. Chased down by Oscar Bob. Good pressing by Bob. Gets there, puts it out for a throw-in for Spurs. Deep in their own half, however. Pedro Porro across to take it. Thrown in by Porro. Vardiel, weak. Brennan Johnson can't keep it in, can he? Referee says he does. Bob flicks it forward. Romero heads it back forward here. Richarlison against Vardiel. Back to Nathan Ake. Nathan Ake onto Ruben Diaz under pressure from Timo Werner here. Rodri. Good play by City. Late one on Rodri there by Bentancur, which Rodri's not happy with. Another late challenge, but no yellow card for the Spurs player. One rule for one, another for the home side. Stefan Ortega. Forward again by Ortega onto Bob. He tries to knock it on. Romero gets there. Big challenge by Romero on Oscar Bob. An offside against Spurs there. That's a big challenge on Oscar Bob. Romero flying in there. He's another nasty player. Christian Romero. James Maddison and Jack Grealish having a good laugh with each other on the sidelines here. Nathan Ake to take this one for Manchester City. Ake long and the switch to Kyle Walker on the far right side. He slips, but he still gets the ball in there. Thrown into space. Walker should probably find him. He doesn't do. Into Bernardo Silva. Rodri. Kovacic. Back to Diaz. Kovacic again. Kovacic forward to Foden and Lucky. That's the nice idea from Kovacic. He forces that forward, but it's actually not a bad idea if Foden controls that. Vicario nice and long here. Diaz up against Richarlison, who jumps into Diaz. Taken down by Kulusevski. Holds off Bernardo Silva, who still wins it back. Tackled by Kulusevski. Bernardo keeps going here. Another foul on Bernardo Silva, this time by Udogie. Is the yellow card going to come out for Destiny Udogie, referee? I don't think so. Oh, it is. The referee is showing consistency. Yellow card for Udogie. Udogie asks how. Well, if he's given one to Kovacic, he's got to give one to Udogie. Bernardo Silva is still down here. Ooh, it's right over the top of the ankle of Bernardo Silva. That is an incredibly nasty challenge on Bernardo. And it rolls the ankle as he comes across Bernardo Silva's ankle there. Well, it looks like Bernardo Silva is really struggling with that one. Right over the top of the foot comes Udogie with the studs. Rolls the ankle as well as Bernardo. He's really struggling to continue here. Studs on the top of the boot, roll the ankle. Let's hope Bernardo's okay, but he's struggling. Walker across to Ake. Ake back to Diaz. And back to Stefan Ortega. Any subs coming on, says Lisa at the moment. We've got Jack Grealish and Co warming up, but nothing so far. Walker with the header straight down to Højbjerg. Flicked him behind. City are in trouble now because Kyle Walker's not getting back for his team. It's Bernardo Silva against Werner. Werner, Kyle Walker's jogging. Kyle Walker's jogging. Werner, cross comes in, dealt with by Ruben Diaz. And Walker goes to keep it in now. And cleared away by his captain and straight back to Højbjerg. Werner. Udogie. No spoilers, please. Foot flicks if that's the case. I don't want to know. Bentancur. Bentancur. Brennan Johnson. Across the box. Spurs deal with it. Here's Richarlison. Kulusevski goes down the box. Thank you very much, Footflix. The fact that you told me that, I was already on edge on that Spurs attack. Thank you for just trolling. Yeah, don't ruin the game, but I'm glad that was just trolling because I was worried. I was panicking. I saw Spurs coming forward, then I thought, Brennan Johnson's going to score. No way. Ortega wide to Kyle Walker. Oh, bad pass by Walker. Oh, then he goes and beats his man Walker. Then he's in for a big tackle on Udogie. He's lost it, Kyle Walker. He's a free kick, is he, to Spurs? But why has he not played the advantage? Spurs are on the attack. And Paul Tierney pulls it back. Walker in and Udogie. Walker gives Udogie a bit of a one back there for what he did to Bernardo Silva. It's a very similar challenge on Udogie. But why is Paul Tierney not picking up the fact that Kyle Walker only got late to the ball because Kulusevski put his arms across him and stopped him from getting on the end of that? Well, Spurs are happy with the advantage. I don't think Tottenham Hotspur can complain about that refereeing, considering Manchester City were clean through on goal against them at the Etihad, and the referee still pulled it back. Free kick for Spurs in a really good position here. Pedro Porro to throw on him. Will Richarlison, Van der Ven, Romero, one of the big boys, getting the end of it. Pedro Porro over it. Come on, you Spurs. Rings around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Porro swings it in. Kovacic clears it away well. Back in by Porro to Kulusevski against Bernardo Silva. Kulusevski. Timo Werner sends it all the way back towards Udogie, who's limping a little bit after that challenge from Kyle Walker. Serves him right. Brennan Johnson against Vardiol. Johnson holds off Vardiol. Away from Vardiol. Onto Romero. Bad ball by Romero behind for a goal kick. Joško Vardiol is asking the linesman why Brennan Johnson is allowed to hold onto his shirt in that situation. The linesman says he can. And for Manchester City, a double substitution is happening. It is Kevin De Bruyne and Jeremy Doku. So I think it's going to be Oscar Bob for Jeremy Doku and Bernardo Silva for Kevin De Bruyne, but we'll have to see. Ortega into Ake. Long by Ake. Alvarez in there against Romero. Beats him to it. Rodri against Romero. It's a head injury for Romero. No way! Oh my God, Paul Tierney is playing with a Spurs shirt underneath his orange one. Romero goes and heads it, heads Rodri, and he gets a free kick. He heads Rodri and gets a free kick. Oh, come on. Free kick Spurs, referee again quick to give one. So frustrating, some of these decisions that Paul Tierney's give today. Rodri goes in there, but there's nothing in it. Romero just goes down. Pedro Porro takes it quickly, puts it out for a goal kick. You wasted your own opportunity there. Wasteful by Spurs. What else could we expect as foot flicks here? It's so frustrating, isn't it? Why does it keep happening, though? Well, here come the substitutions to Manchester City. So Jeremy Doku is on the field now for Oscar Bob, a substitution we did expect. Played well here, Oscar Bob, today. Played very well again, the young man. And Kevin De Bruyne is coming on for City striker Julian Alvarez. So Alvarez rested. I mean, he is playing a lot of games at the moment, Alvarez. So striker off. The Spurs fans are booing De Bruyne. Talk about bitter. So here's De Bruyne on the field for City. Is he going at striker, I think? He is. De Bruyne at the false 9 role. Goal kick Manchester City. Back into Kovacic. Back to Ortega. Ortega clips it forward towards De Bruyne. Nice first touch by De Bruyne. Van der Ven with a sliding challenge. Gives it away to Bernardo Silva. Walker. Forward to Phil Foden. I think it's gone to false 9. Foden. Ball over the top here towards Jeremy Doku. Chases this one down. Doku, he slips, but he keeps trying to keep his feet here. Pedro Porro is in there. Throwing Manchester City. Pedro Porro wants a free kick for absolutely nothing. Manchester City throw him. Kovacic. Ake. Doku did everything to stay on his feet there. Kovacic. Rodri. Bernardo Silva. Back to Ake. It's behind the Dutchman. Still works it wide to Doku. Doku. Through to Foden. What a ball. De Bruyne in the middle here. Foden. Late with a pass. Deflects off the bar. Did it flick the bar that? I don't know. Bernardo Silva clips one in. Wide to Doku. Poor ball. Vardiel out strength by Brennan Johnson. Falls to Diaz. He works it back wide to Doku. Spurs are feeling the pressure a little bit here. Jeremy Doku for Manchester City. Doku. Against Brennan Johnson. Doku still going here. Beats him. Doku pulls back. Bentancur. Arms all over Jeremy Doku. No free kick given. No free kick given for Doku being pulled down by Bentancur. At least we know you can play with your arms on the opposition. Diaz against Kulusevski here. Diaz loses. Diaz jumps on Kulusevski. And it's a free kick from Spurs. For Spurs, of course it is. The exact same tackle on Jeremy Doku at the other end results in not a foul. But when Diaz does it to Kulusevski, it is a foul. Paul Tierney showing the consistency he has there as an official. I mean, it's a Friday Night SmackDown later, says Foot Flicks. Well, I think we all know. I mean, Pedro Porro's taken this free kick a couple of further yards forward now. This time he'll look to try and put a better cross in. But when the referees start being inconsistent, you start to get frustrated. I mean, Jeremy Doku, clearly fouled by Bentancur, nothing given. Ball in by Pedro Porro. Always all the way to Kyle Walker, who flicks away from the far post. First anti-turn now. Paul Tierney's foot flicks. I mean, they're all terrible. Another bad ball by Spurs behind for a throw. They're all terrible foot flicks. It's not like it's just Anthony Taylor or Paul Tierney or Simon Hooper or whoever's left. That they're was it some of England, Darren England? They're all absolutely poor. Andy Madley, I don't know if he's still even referees in the Premier League. Vardiel back to Ortega, who slices past straight to Kulusevski. Vardiel in there to get it away. Back to Højbjerg again. Over the top to Brennan Johnson, who's onside. He flicks into the box here. Ruben Diaz heads it away. Kovacic onto it. Offside flag goes up. Ball goes back to Manchester City in their own half. Bad throwing by Vardy. He launched it back to Ortega, who really did struggle to try and volley that one away. Here's Ortega for Manchester City. Diaz. On to Walker. Back to Ruben Diaz. Diaz, good play. Good feet by Diaz. Sends it forward here. To be chased by Phil Foden against Romero. He miscontrols it. Just keeps it in and managed to send it back to his goalkeeper Vicario. He's done very well there, Romero, actually. Vicario under pressure. Vicario nearly plays out of play. Spurs eventually do play it out of play. It's a throw into Manchester City. Deep in their half to be taken quickly by City. Bernardo. De Bruyne. De Bruyne to the far post. To Doku. Vicario drops it. Lucky goalkeeper there, Vicario. Came out and dropped it on the cross from De Bruyne. And if City had someone in the box there, they might have scored. Straight through his hands there, Vicario. Where's the striker for City? Maddison's warming up, says foot flicks. That's not good for City. Kovacic, lovely ball the outside of the boot into Jeremy Doku. Doku in behind to De Bruyne. De Bruyne pulls it to far post. Does he keep it in? No, it's gone behind for a goal kick. What a ball by Kovacic, by the way, outside of his right foot. Flicks it round the corner. Maddison warming up for Spurs. He's not good for Manchester City. But I suppose Kevin De Bruyne on the pitch for City isn't good for Spurs. So James Maddison is coming on for Spurs. Here he comes. 3 goals and 5 assists for Spurs before he got injured with that Achilles injury. Richarlison against Diaz here. He's beat Diaz, has he? Foul by Diaz, yellow card. Richarlison wants a bit of a talking to with Diaz, as he always does. Yellow card for Diaz, was it? But did Richarlison get booked as well for squaring up to him? I don't know. How's De Bruyne doing, says Lisa. Well, he's not really touched the ball much quite yet. So, we'll have to see. But it's a yellow card for Diaz for fouling Richarlison. No yellow card for Richarlison for squaring up to him. Romero sends it in behind towards Werner. It's a poor pass. Werner kicks it into Walker. City keep it in. Bernardo back to Kyle Walker. Here's the pace of Kyle Walker. Then behind to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne across to Phil Foden here. It's just a little bit too heavy. Foden back into Doku. Jeremy Doku for City. You've got 3 players round him. Doku. De Bruyne. Rodri. Out to Walker. Doggy gets his studs in and gets it away. Werner. Richarlison onto the end of it here. Diaz can't make a challenge. Richarlison's going to run at him and dive here. Bernardo's also on a yellow card. Richarlison still. Bernardo Silva goes and wins it back off him. Well done, Bernardo. Go and cry about it, Richarlison. All get a bit scrappy. A goal likely come from a mistake, but whose? Hopefully not City's. Van der Ven here with a late one on Phil Foden. It's a free kick, Manchester City. Skip coming on as well, says foot flick. So it looks like that Ange will sacrifice an attacking player and a defensive player in the process in Skip. Van der Ven gets the ball there, but he goes through Phil Foden to get it. It's Doku for City. I think City are going to make a mistake. I don't want it to be the case, but I think City will make a mistake and Spurs will catch on the counter. We're not a side to score on the counter. Rodri gives it away. Could that be the mistake? Kovacic can't win it out. But Bentancur passes it out off Kovacic behind for a throw-in. When is Haaland back, asked Lisa. Apparently he might play a few minutes against Burnley. And here the 2 changes. So Brennan Johnson comes off for Oliver Skip. And James Maddison, who's doing everything to try and rescue that hairline. This hair combed here, there and everywhere. And that head of hair by James Maddison. On he comes to Rodrigo Bentancur. The hair from the back comb forward. The hair from the front comb back. And all sorts of ways there. And Maddison to try and deal with his hair. Maddison on and the home crowd have responded to that one. Pedro Porro throws it down to Romero. Højbjerg. Nice take by Emil Højbjerg. Ball through. Vardiel cuts it out. Well done. On to Kevin De Bruyne. KDB for City. Doku's made a run. Oh, Skip with a great interception on De Bruyne's pass. Through to Jeremy Doku. Here's Højbjerg. Skip finds a good position here. Kovacic chases. Skipping towards James Maddison. Nathan Ake tackles in. Well done, City. Kevin De Bruyne. It's end-to-end at the moment. De Bruyne with the ball through again, which is just defended well by Spurs. Vicario comes out to it. He's trying to find Doku. De Bruyne twice. They've just cut it out twice. Wouldn't be surprised if they announced him at this point. Oh, he's not come back before. De Bruyne says foot flicks. Yeah, I mean, he's been out for a very long time, Maddison, it feels like, isn't it? Here's Romero. Kulusevski. Over top here by Kulusevski. Ruben Diaz down towards Rodri. Bernardo Silva takes it to Richarlison. He gives him a little kick on the way through. Rodri back to Bernardo. And City into Ake. And they play out of that issue there really well. Kovacic. Ruben Diaz. Rodri. Rodri goes backwards here. Under pressure here, Rodri. Into Ruben Diaz. Diaz into Phil Foden. Nice take by Phil. Onto Walker. Walker for City. Foden. Back in behind to Kyle Walker, who's off here. De Bruyne's in the middle. It deflects to Kevin De Bruyne, who's on to the end of this one. Chasing by Van der Ven. Behind for a corner for Manchester City. Has he give a goal kick there? Has the ref give a free kick there? De Bruyne against Van der Ven, shoulder to shoulder. Goes out for a corner, and the referee gives a free kick. Kevin De Bruyne just outstrengths Mickey Van der Ven, and he gives a free kick. Paul Tierney. I can't believe it. I cannot believe De Bruyne's just flattened Van der Ven because he's stronger than him. And they give a free kick Spurs his way. Pedro Porro with a poor pass. Free kick Spurs his way again. Pep Guardiola sarcastically applauds the referee and the officiating. That's going to get a yellow card for Pep, that one. And here's the yellow card for Pep for clapping his team. He knew exactly what he was doing, Pep Guardiola. Pep knew what he was doing. He claps sarcastically the referee, pretends he's applauding Manchester City, the team. And then he gets a yellow card. He knew what he's doing there, Pep. You're not fit to referee, rings from the City fans. Two really strange decisions by Paul Tierney. Romero. Kulusevski. City win it back with Ake. Doku. Into Kovacic. Back to Doku with a good ball by Kovacic. Jeremy Doku for City. Doku. No space to run forward there. Then he gives it away. Doku. That's poor by Jeremy Doku. To Kulusevski. Højbjerg. Come on, Doku. You've got to be better than that. Richarlison. Switch a play to a doggy. Doku's got to be better than that. If Van der Ven out-muscled De Bruyne, it would have been a goal kick. His foot flicks. Exactly. Ref knows what he's doing there. The ref knows exactly what he's doing there. He's killing any chance of a City chance from a corner. That's what he's doing. Because if Van der Ven flattened De Bruyne, he wouldn't give it. A doggy in space here. Werner made a run. Diaz makes a tackle. Rodri gets his body in there. Good tackle by Rodri. Bernardo Silva brings it away. Bernardo wide towards Jeremy Doku. Back to Kovacic. Space for Rodri. Kevin De Bruyne drifting wide on the far right-hand side. De Bruyne for Manchester City. Back to Bernardo Silva. Kovacic. Wide to Jeremy Doku with space here. Doku for City. Back to De Bruyne. Late one in by Richarlison. Vardiol. Ake. Rodri. Vardiol. Wide left to Jeremy Doku for City. Doku. Doku can't beat his man. He's give it away again. Doku. Kulusevski wins it back. Back to Porro. He don't win a corner. Kulusevski. Kovacic in there. They play it around Vardiol. Well, Spurs here. Kulusevski. Richarlison. Kulusevski. Pep Guardiola is going absolutely crazy at Jeremy Doku here. Absolutely crazy at Doku here. Skip against Bernardo Silva. Skip into the box. Ruben Diaz deals it, but Jeremy Doku has got to do better. Pep Guardiola screams at Doku, run, run. Here's Porro. Højbjerg. Maddison. Porro. Wide to Kulusevski. Back wide again they go. Lisa thinks Doku's been one of the best wingers in the world this season. He's been brilliant, but he's got to keep going with it. Kulusevski. Ball in behind towards Richarlison here. He's just kept it in, Richarlison. Straight to Diaz and gives it away. Doku. Kovacic. Kovacic slows it down. Turns on it. Into Vardiol. De Bruyne. Round the corner to Rodri. Brilliant from City. Walker's going to make that overlapping run here. Rodri in behind towards Kevin De Bruyne, who chase it against Romero. De Bruyne runs to the end of it here. Well done, Kevin De Bruyne. Romero goes and tackles him. Full-blooded challenge by Romero. He goes to De Bruyne there. He knows what he's doing there. It's a corner, Manchester City. He's nasty, Romero. He's always nasty. And De Bruyne helps him with a cramp after he's just tried to smash him. He's too good of a person, De Bruyne. Romero tries to smash him and De Bruyne read it. City get a corner. Pep Guardiola unhappy with Jeremy Doku at the moment. He's not come on with that much energy, Doku, today, it feels like. Corner ball for City. De Bruyne over it. Swung in by De Bruyne. Far post the chance, the doggy away. Bernardo Silva, Rodri. Clips it in. Diaz away by Spurs. Down to Kyle Walker, do not shoot. Kovacic. Rodri. Kovacic. Back out towards Bernardo Silva. Time is ticking, we need to get a goal. Well, we don't score at this stadium, Footflicks, do we? We just do not score at this stadium. Kyle Walker. Walker for City. Will it be a late Spurs goal that knocks City out here? Or will it be a late City goal? Walker. Wide to Vardiol. Into Jeremy Doku. Doku for City. Doku. Running at them. Doku. Tries to find De Bruyne. Doesn't do. Falls to the edge of the box here. Doggy brings it away. Rodri steps out and wins it back for City. Rodri. Wide right to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo cuts inside. Down the box here. Bernardo. No penalty, says the referee. Foden goes battle. Bernardo are taken down there. Referee says no penalty. Walker. Switch of play to Jeremy Doku here. Doku for City. Looks the cross, he decides against it. Pedro Porro laughs at Jeremy Doku. Kovacic. Rodri. Kovacic. In behind to Doku here. Doku pulls it back for Foden on the centre circle. Bernardo Silva! Saved by Vicario right down the middle. I swear a doggy always spawns it when you get a shot on target. It's his foot flick. He's everywhere, a doggy. A real athlete. Him and Van de Ven both. Oh, chance for Bernardo Silva. Goes right to the middle. I mean, Spurs get their body on the way in the line of everything. They're always in the way. Vicario in possession for Spurs here. Vicario. Taking his time on the ball here, the Italian. Wide to Romero. Into Højbjerg. Heavy touch by Højbjerg. He's giving away to Phil Foden, the edge of his own box here. He's Kevin De Bruyne! He's put it wide. That was the chance. Massive mistake by Højbjerg. Gives it away to Foden in his box. Foden to De Bruyne. You think he's going to hit the back of the net. And he drags it wide. Oh, De Bruyne has got to score there. 0-0, and De Bruyne should have scored. What a miss. Van de Ven got across quickly, but mistake by Højbjerg. City can't pounce the mistake, and I think Spurs, they punish us for the same mistake. Here's Maddison. Maddison back to Vicario. Into Van de Ven. Back they go to Vicario again. City should have scored that. Romero. Ake in on Porro here. Porro ends up dribbling it out for a throw-in for Manchester City. Oh, that's a big moment for Kevin De Bruyne. I'm convinced we're cursed, says Jack Wilson. We are. It's impossible to score at the stadium, says Footflicks. Foul on Doku. They say handball against Doku instead. No free kick. Spurs switch the play. No free kick for City again. Is anything the financial fair play charges for City, says Lisa. Werner, beating for pace to Walker. Werner against Walker. Walker gets there, down. Free kick, Manchester City. Well done, Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker gets in front of Werner and then jumps on top of the ball. Ah, well done, Kyle. Dives in the box and gets the free kick. Brilliant from Kyle Walker, the captain. gets in front of the ball, and then dives in the box as if he's been shot, when he clearly hasn't. But he knows that Paul Tierney is a spineless and poor referee, and he gives a free kick Manchester City's way. Well done, Paul Tierney, but even better from Kyle Walker. City just can't get it going on this ground, can they? Pep Guardiola's trying to motivate Jeremy Doku, who seems frustrated here. De Bruyne could get a shot and it wouldn't be a free kick. Richarlison with a late one on Joško Vardiol here. Vardiol pushes Richarlison off him. And it's a yellow card for Vardiol. I bet it is. And a yellow card for Vardiol for Richarlison sitting on him and pushing him. Yellow card for the City player, but Richarlison avoids a card again. Fouls Vardiol. Jumps on top of him. And then watch this from Richarlison. Leaves his body on him. And Vardiol pushes him off. That's all he does. Says, get off me. And he books Vardiol. Petulant from Vardiol. But Richarlison continues to get away and avoid cards in this game. Paul Tierney. Kyle Walker and Kovacic talk with him and say, where is the consistency, Paul Tierney? There is none. Richarlison pushed on his shoulder and he holds his head, says Chris. Exactly. That is Richarlison for you. That is Richarlison for you. He's an absolute rat. I cannot stand him. Him and Bruno Fernandes. And there's a few others, but him and Bruno Fernandes in the Premier League. Two of the worst in the Premier League. Vardiol. Back to Ake. English referees are embarrassment, says Jack. Yeah, I mean they're terrible in other leagues as well, might I add. I mean, the La Liga referees. If you watched Real Madrid versus Almeria the other day, where Almeria should have won 2-0 and they lost 3-2, the referee, I mean, he might as well have said, he might as well kick the ball and goal for Real Madrid himself, or City on the attack here. Doku's in, Doku's away here, Jeremy Doku for City. Doku on the left foot, saved by Vicario, back to Doku. Back on his feet, unlucky. Doku blocked by Porro, corner Manchester City, unlucky Jeremy Doku, keep going. How much do you reckon Spurs is paying this guy, says Foot Flicks? Oh, he's not biased. He's just entirely incompetent like the rest of them. Doku hits it hard here. And low, and it's a good save with the left-hand of Vicario. Unlucky Jeremy Doku. Corner Manchester City again. De Bruyne over it. 5 minutes remain. De Bruyne fires it in. Foden on the volley. That is wild. It's Bernardo Silva. It's right over the bar and out for a goal kick. That was a difficult one. Well, a replay would mean another game for City, which we just don't need, do we, the size of squad we have. Our squad's small enough already. We've just lost another player in Calvin Phillips. I mean, in the replay in the FA Cup, you might see Mohamed Sissoko in the midfield or something. You don't know. Romero. Back out to Van der Ven. Oliver Skip here. Lovely skill by Skip there. Gets away from Bernardo Silva. Skip. Van der Ven back to Vicario. Vicario. Spurs played out from the back. Nice and slow from Spurs. Nice slowing the game down. Romero switches it again. Again, they played it out from the back. Spurs here. Vicario lumped away on the left foot. Diaz back forward to Rodri. Flicks over to De Bruyne. De Bruyne, good feet by Kevin. De Bruyne! Deflection takes it behind for a corner. City are still going. Spurs are still going. Corner ball. Can City get a goal here late on? Can we do it? Kevin De Bruyne over it. Swung in by De Bruyne. On top of Vicario, drops it! Nathan Ake scores! 87th minute goal from Nathan Ake for Manchester City. Vicario, weak goalkeeping by the Italian, who drops it. And Manchester City scores, swung in right on top of the keeper Vicario. The Italian drops it, and Nathan Ake studs it in the back of the net. VAR, says Chris. Well, VAR will get involved here. There's no foul on the keeper there. Diaz goes for the header. What's he supposed to do? He stood in front of Vicario. He goes for the header. Diaz goes for the header. Diaz goes for the header. Vicario's the wrong way. VR will get involved, but... So, they won't give it because it's City. Only Luton get those goals, clearly. VAR. Ruben Diaz jumps in the air and tries to head the ball in the back of the net. There is no foul on Vicario. Nathan Ake taps it in. 1-0 Manchester City. VAR will check it and check it and check it. Diaz heads it. Vicario flaps at it. It's a goal given for Manchester City. The goalkeeper flaps at it. He'd better get stronger than Annie, the Italian. He better get stronger. Because no way. Diaz jumps up to head it. Vicario can't get there. And Nathan Ake finishes it. Our first goal comes at the Spurs ground. It's controversial, but we'll take it. We can end the poll because we finally scored at Spurs' ground, by the way. Nathan Ake. I think the Spurs keeper should do better. We finally scored at Spurs. Foden. Ball in behind to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne for City. Kovacic centrally. Kovacic back wide to Kevin De Bruyne. Options in the middle here. De Bruyne. Up against Skip De Bruyne. De Bruyne in towards Foden. Just dealt with by Van der Ven and Romero. Depends how much added time's coming here. Rodri back in there. Throwing to Spurs. How much added time is coming? This is bigger than treble, says Jack Wilson. We've actually scored at Spurs' ground. And controversially. But all the controversial goals they've got against those Spurs, it's about time we got one back, isn't it? To be honest with you. Diaz hasn't got his hands on the keeper at all. Diaz jumps to head the ball and Vicario's the wrong side of him and he's too weak. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. Diaz is in front of him and goes to head the ball. Vicario's not going to get round him. He can't go through him. It's a good ball. It's a good goal. 5 minutes of added time here. The Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for Manchester City to hang on. Here's Van der Ven. Maddison. Now let's get game manage. Just manage the game. 5 minutes and not lose the lead against this, Chris, yet. We need to keep this on. Dane Scarlett is on. I'm not sure who's come off, though. Pedro Porro, great play. They're in behind Spurs. Scarlett's offside anyway. Offside against Dane Scarlett. Free kick Manchester City. Well done, linesman. Take your time, City. .91 minutes on the clock here. City need to hang on. Well, I'm sure City will want to wind up Richarlison at the end here. Rodri the ball over top here to Jeremy Doku. Who's offside? Doku! Doku! Come on now. Got to be better. You're quick, Jeremy Doku. Don't be making those sorts of mistakes. And that over 9,000 Manchester City fans in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium today. On a Friday night. Travelled up there. Credit to them. City tearing Cockneys apart again. Not quite. Here's Romero. Maddison. Ball in behind. Dealt with by Vardiol. Forward by Vardiol into Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne turns and against the Romero here. Romero takes him down. Free kick Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne stays down. And wastes some time here. Nothing wrong with him. Don't worry. He's not injured. Kovacic helps up Kevin De Bruyne. Dane Scarlett sounds like an alter ego of a Marvel superhero, says Chris. He played for someone on loan last season and it was quite good for them, I think, in the Championship maybe, or League One. I'm very surprised he's actually playing for Spurs. Doku here, up against Pedro Porro. Wins a corner here. Jeremy Doku, well played. Corner Manchester City. He's only 18, I think, Dane Scarlett, or 17. He's very, very young. But very highly rated within the Spurs Academy. Well, City have got a goal at Spurs. That's massive. City play it short with De Bruyne to Doku. De Bruyne, Doku off Porro. It's behind for another corner. 93 minutes on the clock here. City holding it in the corner. I'm trying to waste a bit of time. De Bruyne looking to swing this one in. Is he going to play it short to Doku again? We've beaten Real Madrid 4-0, won away to the Champions League, been to the final celebration and come back to win the league and celebrate the goal the most. De Bruyne here, gives it away. Kovacic in there to win it. Here's Dane Scarlett, back to Pedro Porro, in behind for City to deal with. Nathan Ake, brilliant defending against Richarlison, out for a throw-in. We've done it all, Jack. We've done it all. We've won the Carabao Cup, the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Premier League. We've won the treble. More importantly, we've scored a goal away at Spurs. Well on Jeremy Doku. Vardiel goes back to Ortega under pressure from James Maddison. Ortega forward towards Phil Foden. Nice take by Foden. Here's Mateo Kovacic for Manchester City. Kovacic into Jeremy Doku. Here's Doku for City running at Pedro Porro. Doku for City. Romero kicks Jeremy Doku in the back of the ankle here. It's a nasty one by Romero. And it's a free kick Manchester City. Nasty tackle by Romero at the back of Jeremy Doku. What's happening with Claudio Echeverri transfer, says Lisa Duggan? It was confirmed yesterday. Confirmed as a City player. He will join us in 2025. Even if we win, let's give props to Doggy and Van der Vence's foot flicks. Yeah, Spurs have had some good performers in there as well. There's no doubt about that. Spurs have had some very good performers in there as well. Manchester City free kick here. 30 seconds on the clock. De Bruyne plays it wide to Jeremy Doku. Who's past Kulusevski. Tackled by Pedro Porro. And behind for another corner for Manchester City. Well done, Jeremy Doku. City trying to hold on here to 1-0 win. The Poznan has been busted out by the over 9,000 Manchester City fans here at Spurs. De Bruyne takes the corner shot again to Jeremy Doku. Kulusevski floors himself. Doku off Porro. It's another corner for Manchester City. Pedro Porro. He's starting a fight on Jeremy Doku now. Pedro Porro starts a fight on Jeremy Doku now. Frustrated as Doku does a little bit of a very skillful flick into Porro. Off him and out for a corner again for Manchester City. Yellow card for Jeremy Doku for just existing. What's the yellow card for? Porro comes and starts something with Doku over nothing. Well, 95 minutes have been played now. We're approaching 96. Full-time whistle goes. Manchester City win at Spurs and score at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And Pep Guardiola will now say it's season over. They've achieved what they've wanted to achieve. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Great to have you, MK. Great to have you, Chris. Onwards and upwards, as you say, for Manchester City. Big win for City. Bit of a controversial goal, but I don't think so. Vicario, the weakest goalkeeper in the Premier League, couldn't get in front of Ruben Diaz. I'm sure Richarlison will be trying to wind a few people up now and start a few fights. But Manchester City, the better side. Manchester City deserved winners. And that is good to see. Pep Guardiola complain to Paul Tierney now. And he's also complained to the linesman. He just wants a bit of a talk there, Pep Guardiola. He's not happy. Manchester City are through in the FA Cup. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I don't think anyone predicted 1-0. But City get a goal. City are through for the first time. Against Spurs, it feels like. City score at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Is that the season complete? It might just be. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next time. It's Haaland, and here in career mode, City have won the lot. Rodri on the chance! Goal in the final by Rodri! Jude Bellingham will not be coming to Manchester City. We are Premier League champions. City FC are champions. Series based on the World Cup with music videos, football and more. Get your official City FC merchandise. Join us as we explore historic Europe and football.